Good morning. Welcome to our 5th Word Wednesday. Wow, how did we get here already? So today I am going to be doing a continuation of Who is the Author. So if you have not watched the 3rd and 4th videos yet, I suggest you go ahead and hit pause and go back and watch those, because today is going to be a continuation of those. But today I am going to be focusing on fear. And so a couple years back, I was dealing with a lot of fear and anxiety and things that were going on in my life, and it was just kind of very debilitating, and it arrested me pretty much every day. And so I decided I was going to start memorizing some verses on fear. And I don't know if you know, but there are 365 verses in the Bible about fear. And so I thought, well, I could read one a day and I could try to get this fear tackled, if you will. And so I started going over and memorizing, a couple verses here and there. And then one morning, as I was, sitting and meditating on one of these verses of fear, the Lord really just kind of stopped me and said, you can focus on 365 verses of fear, or you can focus on just one verse. And I thought, okay. And he led me to 1 John 4:18, and I'm going to read that to you in the New King James Version. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in love. And so what we talked about on our first Word Wednesday is that God is love, and love is God. So now I want to superimpose that word God into the word love. So there is no fear in God, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in God. So another verse that backs up this truth is 2 Timothy 1:7, and I'm going to read this in the King James Version, New King James Version. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So right here you see that God is not the author of fear, but it is our enemy of our soul that brings fear to us. And so an acronym that I like to use for the word fear is false evidence appearing real. And fear is not from God, it is from the enemy. Romans 8:15 in the King James Version says, "For you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption as sons, by whom we cry, Abba, Father." So it says right here in this verse that if you are living in a chronic state of fear, you are in bondage. And Jesus did not come for us to be in bondage anymore. It says that he came to bring us and set us free. So last week we went over what Satan's name was. And if you can remember, his root word of his name means to attack. And what do you think fear is? It's attacking your peace. Oh, did you guys get to see the little hummingbird that came? I'm enjoying being outside this morning. Sorry about that, but that was just fun. So what did Jesus say about fear and about what and how you're supposed to live? So John 14:27, and I'm going to read this in the Passion Translation. "I leave the gift of peace with you. My peace, not the kind of fragile peace given by the world, but my perfect peace. Don't yield to fear or be troubled in your hearts. Instead, be courageous." So in Isaiah, it tells us that Jesus is called the Prince of Peace. So going back to that 1 John 4:18, I used to think that the opposite of love was hate, but actually the opposite of love, according to this verse, is fear. So if you are living in fear, you are not in perfect love of God and His perfect peace that He wants for you. And so this isn't supposed to be about any kind of condemnation on your part, but just to know that God wants more for you. He does not want you living in fear. Besides that, it hurts your body. There's so many health issues that we go through because we carry fear in our bodies and worry. And it says to cast your cares upon the Lord. And casting those cares and anxieties and worries, we were not meant to carry those. So I hope you enjoyed this week's teaching. If you have any questions or comments, you can private message me, or you can drop them in the comments under this video. And so until I see you again next week, you have a great day. Bye-bye.